guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Miss Yancy and this is the Miss Yancy Network. Today we have a fun video for you guys. As you can see by the title of this video, we are about to get right up into it, okay? We are about to start our tomato seeds. Yes. All right, y'all. I would say I'm a little late in starting my seeds because we're already in the first week of April, but it's not that bad because normally they tell you on the back of the seed package to start your tomato seeds 6 weeks before your last frost date or before you transplant it outside. I think I'm, within the range. A lot of people start early because, they want their plants to be exceedingly big. Now, last year I started my seeds in March. And when I tell you guys, I didn't have seedlings anymore. I had young adults. Like one of you guys said, it's no longer seedlings, they were young adults, okay? I did my approach a little different this year and I decided to start my seeds actually 6 weeks before my last frost days because tomato grow really fast. So I'm not worried about getting a harvest during the summer because I know I will. As you have seen in my past video, I have harvested hundreds, if not even 1,000 tomatoes from my garden. But that's because I grow a ton of tomatoes and that's gonna be no different this year. This year I'm actually going to be growing about 10 different types of tomatoes. Yes, I love my tomatoes. They're actually one of my favorite plants to grow because they love me back. They take care of me and I take care of them, okay? All right, y'all, so let's get straight to it. I'll be showing you guys how to start your seeds. I'll be showing you guys the soil I'll be using. I'll be showing you guys the fertilizers I'll be using. I'll be showing you guys the trays that I will be starting my seeds in. And I'll be giving you guys a lot of tips and tricks on how to grow a really strong, healthy, juicy tomato plants, okay? Because we want that harvest to be harvesting. So let's get it started. So come along. Let's get this started because we're not wasting no more time. We gotta hurry up and get these seeds up and popping, and they will because you guys use my germination step, right? If you guys use my germination process, honey, let me tell y'all, your seeds are going to germinate. Ask about me in the comments. The people that know, they know. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go and watch the last video that I did where I showed you guys how to speed up the germination of your tomatoes. So if you want to go see how to speed up the germination of your tomatoes, watch that video before you watch this one because this one is after I showed you guys how to speed up the germination, where I started the germination process, and now we're actually about to plant the seeds into the cell trays, okay? Come along. Let's get this started. One look and I breathe. Alrighty guys, here are the tomatoes that we will be starting today. Now let's see, 3. So there's actually about 9 of them here. I thought we were growing about 10 different tomatoes, but we're actually growing about 9 different kinds of tomatoes. So we have the yellow pear, we have the Bliss hybrid, we have the sweetie tomato, we have the beefsteak, we have the big red, we have black trim, we have Roma, we have large cherry, and we have the honeycomb hybrid tomato. So this is what we'll be growing. They're in these cups because this is what I do to all of my seeds to speed up the germination. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the video before this one and it will tell you how I did this, the step-by-step on how to speed up the germination of all of your seeds, or specifically the tomatoes, because we did this on the last video, okay? So those are the tomatoes we're growing. Now, as far as the supplies, here's what we'll be using today. We will be using this seed starting kit. It has 72 cells. This is by Fairy Morse. So I'm gonna use this for all of my tomatoes. I love that it has 72 cells. I'm not sure how many seeds are in those, but it's definitely a ton of seeds. But I love the fact that I could just dedicate this entire kit to my tomatoes growth. And I love that it has the dome cover, and I was telling you guys that if you don't have the dome cover, you can always use like a plastic wrap that I've used in my other videos to start my peppers. Because I didn't have the dome covers, I used like a regular plastic wrap. And then also this has the tray right here. So when I water my plants, because I'm going to be watering these from the bottom, so I'll be putting the water in here, and it is going to water the seedlings when they start to grow. So this is what we'll be using to start the seeds in. Now, as far as the soil, you guys already know I use seed starting soil. This is the Jiffy natural and organic seed starting mix, and I'm only using this because that's what was quick to get. I got this from Walmart, and I have this on my Amazon store, as well as those seed starting trays that we will be using. And I did a video when I grabbed these, so if you didn't see that, where I compared the prices between Walmart, Costco, Home Depot, and some other stores like Lowe's and things like that, you know, for the prices for soil, seed starting mix, regular soil, and fertilizer. So if you didn't see that video, that's another video that's available to you as a resource to help you figure out, you know, what soil to use. But for me, I'll be using this because I told you guys that when you're starting your seeds, you want to use something that's light and airy. Your seed needs to be able to have room to grow without anything that is hindering it. Like if you were to use regular soil that may have wood chips in them, you don't want soil to have wood chips. And for the most part, this is a pretty good mix. You could always create your own mix as well, which I plan to do next time, because I think it is definitely cost efficient and you get to have a bang for your buck. So I might do that with y'all another time in creating your own seed starting mix. We will be using some worm castings. I will be fertilizing the soil with some worm casting before I start my plants. I have my banana water. I already told you guys how to make this in the other video, but this is a banana water solution that I created myself. And right now the banana peels are in this water, and all of the nutrients are being extracted into the water, and tomatoes love it. Tomatoes thrive off of banana peels. They love the nutrients, all the potassium and everything that comes from the banana peels. Tomatoes really love it. Like, they grow 10 times bigger, in my opinion, when you use banana peels to fertilize your soil. You could direct compost the banana peels, or you could use the water, and I will still direct compost the banana peels in here once I'm done with the water. But I will be using that to spray on top of my seeds when I am done placing them into the tray. You guys will see the entire process. So that's what we'll be using today. You can find these in the store if you like, but for your convenience, I have it linked in my Amazon store. So let's get started, because this is about to be a long night for me, but it's probably gonna go pretty fast for you guys because I'm gonna fast forward everything. All right, y'all, let's get it started because we gotta hurry up and get these seeds up and going. We've been waiting long enough. Oh, I wanted to also tell you guys that from my last habanero seed video that I showed you, that was like my second attempt on trying to make my habanero seeds germinate. I have come to terms with the fact that it's just not going to work out for those particular seeds because of what I did. So I went back to the store and actually purchased new seeds. I have them in here as well doing their thing, you know, to help speed up the process. So we'll find out if it works out. But for the most part, a lot of the seeds drop to the bottom, and you guys know what that means. When you guys go through this germination process, you know what it means when the seeds drop down to the bottom. It's going to have a very high germination rate. So I am crossing my finger because I see a lot of seeds at the bottom of this water. So I'm crossing my finger that it's going to work out, but we'll find out. Maybe we have Peppergate on our hands. Our main focus is the tomatoes tonight, but I'm just letting you guys know that my plan is to also start those seeds, and in another video I would let you guys know how it goes, the entire germination process, because I feel like at this point you guys are invested in me trying to get these habanero seeds to actually germinate, even though they're so behind, you know, at this point because hot peppers need a lot of time to grow because they take so long. But hey, I am so invested in making these seeds do what it needs to do that I don't mind starting over and over and over. And that's part of gardening. We are definitely going to go through all the ebbs and flows of trying to get these seeds to work out, and they're just going to keep trying to disappoint you, but I don't give up, okay? I'm a survivor. But all right, y'all, let's get started. Come along. It's about to be a long night, okay? We're doing this in the nighttime. Y'all see, it's dark outside. That's my window right there. This is my little greenhouse. This is my little dining room greenhouse situation, okay? As a matter of fact, let me give y'all a quick little tour of what's going on here so you can see all the new addition, okay? So y'all already know this is my dining room. This is one of the lights that I use to film my videos. This is my other light. I use these lights to actually provide some heat to my plants. So one of the new things that's now in my living room that my husband brought here for me is this shelving unit. He brought it downstairs from our basement, and I'm using it now upstairs in my dining room for my plants. But you guys see all those peppers over there? You guys see all these peppers, right? Y'all see all these peppers? I need all the lights I can get. I'm actually gonna buy more lights because I need them. All right, y'all, let's get this started so I can go to bed, okay? So that y'all can actually get your seeds started as well, especially if you're on this journey with me and we're doing this together, okay? We are doing this together. Our garden gonna be popping together, okay? Okay, y'all, so first we're about to empty out the water out of here. But when we empty out the water out of here, we're not getting rid of the water, okay? We're actually going to use the water because the water is good water, you know, it has the seed soaking in there. So we're gonna use the water. So I'm just gonna grab a container and we're gonna pour the water in there. I'll pour the water in there from all of them. All right, y'all, so a lot of these tomatoes are definitely gonna germinate. One of the tricks to find out if your tomato is gonna germinate, even though I talked about it in the last video when we did this, is when you do this germination process, whatever seed that dropped to the bottom of the cup, those are the seeds that are gonna have very high germination rates. If you see any floating at the top, you could go ahead and get rid of it, or you could try to plant them and see if they germinate, but they have a very low germination rate or they don't have any germination at all. This is the sweetie tomato, and for the most part everything dropped to the bottom, and I only see one in there. I don't know if y'all could see that, but I see one floating at the top, so I'm not even gonna bother to plant it. I'm gonna get rid of it because there's already like a ton of them that have dropped to the bottom. But this is one of the ways to find out whether or not your seeds are going to germinate. So if you're ever wondering if your seeds are going to germinate, follow this germination process. You can find out the step-by-step in the last video, and that is the best way to find out if your seeds are going to germinate. And also it speeds up the germination. So I just wanted to show you guys, as I'm pouring the water out of here, I'm noticing that a lot of them is going to have a high germination rate because I see a lot of them at the bottom of the cup. Also, another thing, when you see the seeds floating at the top, before you go ahead and remove them from the top, I want you to go ahead and tap it on the table like this. And, you know, just shake it around in the water and see if any of the seeds at the top is going to go to the bottom, because sometimes the water did not get to go on top of the seeds because it's floating, you know, that whole process. So if you go ahead and, you know, just tap it a little bit, you might notice that some of the seeds might drop down, but the ones that are floating on top, if they're remaining floating on top, then you can get rid of those, or you could do whatever you want to do with them. If it's not going to germinate, we get rid of them because we don't have time for wasted efforts like those habaneros. Also, the water that I'm pouring in here, this is the water we're going to use to actually mix the soil. So we're not getting rid of none. Alright guys, so we are about to prep the soil and then we'll get started. I'll be using this seed starting mix. So we're just going to add it to our pan here. I'm using this aluminum pan. You'll see it in a lot of my videos. It's just a lifesaver. I use it for everything. So we're gonna go ahead and put the soil in here. All right, so we added our soil. Now we're gonna add some worm castings to fertilize the soil. I'm gonna put like 2 handfuls in here, and then you could go ahead and stir it around. I'm gonna add 1 more handful of the worm casting. You might want to wear a mask if you know, like the dust is coming up. Now that we have our soil and our worm castings in here, we're gonna go ahead and add our water from the seeds. Remember, when you're adding your water, you want to make sure that your soil is nice and moist, but you don't want it to be too wet. And I'll show you what I mean. You don't want your soil to be too wet. Like, you don't want to squeeze the soil and water is coming out. You want it to be just right, because we're not trying to cook the seed, are we? All Alrighty, y'all, this is what the soil looks like. You want your soil to look like this, right? When you actually add the water, you want it to be nice and moist, but you don't want it to be too wet. Like you see, like I'm squeezing it, but I don't have like a ton of water, you know, coming out of it. So that's what you want for your soil, because you're, at the end of the day, you're still gonna be spraying like a little bit of water on top of it once you're done putting the seeds in the tray. So you just don't want to make this too wet, but this should be the consistency of your soil. You want your soil to be light and airy. It shouldn't have any wood chips or anything like that in there, so it does not hinder the seeds from growing. You want it to be able to be a well-drained soil, something that can be well drained. And honestly, you guys can create this on your own, which is probably cheaper, but that's for another video. This is what the consistency should look like. All right, y'all, so now that we're done with the soil, let's go ahead and put the soil in our seed trays, and then we're gonna get started in actually sowing these seeds into the tray. Alrighty, y'all, so like I said, this is what we'll be using. It's the Fairy Moore 72 cell trays. Let's go ahead and open this. Actually, we can just slide it out. Ta-da! So this is what it looks like, and I think it like breaks in half, which is kind of perfect. I like that it breaks in half. I love that. I actually think I want to do that. Yep. Look, y'all, so there's 2 of them, and that's what it looks like. Also, it have like holes here on the bottom. What the heck is all this? Oh, there's not some spider stuff. Oh, this is plastic. Oh, y'all want to make sure y'all remove all of this plastic so it doesn't go in your food, y'all. Probably from the machines when they were making it. We have enough microplastics going in our body anyway, so let's not knowingly add more. All right, so y'all see what it looks like on the bottom. It have holes under each of them. That's to help the soil drain, and it's very important. You want to be using something that have holes on the bottom. If you're using cups, whatever it is you're using, you want to use something that's able to drain, so that you're basically not soaking the seeds when you water it, because they do not like being over wet. And that's all plants. You know, too much water is not good. Water is good, but too much of it is not good, and that goes for anything, including human beings. I didn't know this was about to be a clean up the residual plastic video, but hopefully they're seeing this, and this could be a part of what they do before they ship it out. But I guess, you know, it's cheap, so you get what you pay for. Get what you pay for, honey. And this was, I believe this was like $5.97. So $5.97 at Walmart, you can't beat that for 72 trays, especially if you're growing like hundreds of plants. You can't beat that at all. All right, so we have our cell trays, and then it has its own dome, which is pretty cool. And then we have the tray, the watering tray, where it's gonna catch the water when you water these plants, but you should also be watering it from the bottom. So this is where you'll be putting the water to water it. So let's get started. We got our trays. Let's fill them up with soil and get started. Also, we have our label. Remember, y'all, you have to label. Look, you have to label your plants, because don't be like me, where 2 years ago when I first started gardening, I thought I was gonna know what everything looks like. I was thinking all the tomatoes, they were gonna look different, and I'm like, you know, based on, you know, the variety, maybe they're gonna have different leaves. That's not true. They all look the same when it starts to grow. So especially when they all have the first leaves, they all look alike. So you want to make sure you label. I promise you, you will regret not labeling your plants, because when it's time, like, you'll think you're like doing everything right, it's wonderful, everything is growing, but when it's time to go and plant outside, and you have designated areas for what you want to plant, and then now you're in chaos because you have hundreds of seedlings and you have no clue where to put them, and now you're intermingling, and now you're growing things next to each other that do not need to be next to each other, and they are not good companion plants and might end up competing for the same resources and then dying. So you want to make sure that you're labeling all of your plants. Now these labels right here, I got these from Amazon, and they are linked in my Amazon store, but you can also find labels in the store as well. So wherever, you know, floats your boat, just make sure you get your labels, okay? And these, I think it was like about 200. I got about 200 in a pack, so it was a pretty good deal for 200 labels, and I definitely am going to use all of them because I am growing over 200 plants. Alrighty, y'all, we are all done. Got it nice and filled up. I am going to be using a skewer to plant the seeds. So we are going to start with my honeycomb because it's my favorite. I'm going to start with all my favorite tomatoes, and because there's not a ton of them. So I'm going to spill out the rest of the water out of it. And then I'm going to put it on this paper towel. When you are about to plant your seeds in your seed tray, you want to plant them about 1/4 inch deep into the soil, and you're going to lightly cover up the seeds so that when it is time for the seeds to germinate and it starts to push out of the soil, it is easy for it to protrude. Typically, I will plant multiple seeds per seed cell tray, so I might put 2 seeds in one of them. So all I have to do is just use this one row and let it be dedicated to this particular honeycomb seed. So you're gonna go ahead and just put like a little hole like that right there to the middle. If you're a beginner gardener, I suggest that you put 1 seed per cell tray. If you do not know how to separate the seedlings when they pop out, if they're gonna, you know, give you problems, I suggest you just put 1 seed per cell tray, but it's totally up to you. All right, so we have our holes now, so let's go ahead and put the seeds in there. Look at how tiny these seeds are, y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they all drop down to the bottom, which they should all germinate very well. Alrighty, we have the seed right here, and we are going to put it right there in the middle. We're gonna lightly cover it up. That's it, y'all. We're all done. We did it, y'all. We did it. That is how you start your tomato seeds, and that is how you start any seed, quite honestly. Let's continue until we're done. Have another seed here. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in here and cover it up. Isn't it amazing how this little seed, what it's going to become? It's going to become something so great. Imagine we all started off as a seed. How beautiful is that? Alrighty, on to the next. All right, y'all, that is how you sow your tomato seeds. That is how you sow any kind of seeds. We are all done. We just created our label for it. Now we're about to put that bad boy in there because we are going to know what we are growing. We're not making that mistake anymore. I cannot wait to be out there prancing around. This is actually one of my favorite tomatoes. It is so delicious. It is sweet. It tastes so good in salads. I love it. Like, I really do. And you'll see in like my past videos, typically when I'm harvesting them, they barely make it in the house. And when my husband is out there, they definitely barely make it in the house because we literally just eat it off the vine while we're out there. That's how delicious they are. So we got our honeycomb. All right, let's go ahead and label this, and then we can speed this up so that we can get this done because we got places to go and we have up potting to do for those millions of pepper seedlings. I don't know who told me to grow that many peppers, but I did. And here I am now. I might as well open a nursery. All right, y'all, so I think I'm about to just label the rest of them, just have them ready. So once I'm done, I could just go ahead and label them individually. I'm just about to write the names on the labels, so I don't have time to waste. So I'm gonna write the names down on them, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and finish. I already showed you guys how to do it. You guys know how to do it now, right? That is how you really sow your tomato seeds to have a really high germination rate. So let me finish labeling these, and then we're gonna finish sowing these seeds, and I'll let you guys get out of here. All right. we just got done with the first tray, and let's see, 2, 4, 5. I'm definitely gonna have to sell some of these. I always give some away, and I also do trades, you know, with other people that grow things that I want, but it's still gonna be so many. So I know for a fact that I am going to have to sell some. But y'all, the tray is already filled. Now I'm about to get to the next tray, and we have 5 more tomatoes to sell. So hang in there with me, y'all. We are almost done. I'm about to get you out of here real soon, okay? So let's go ahead and get to the next tray. Alrighty, y'all, we are all done with the first tray. We have another tray, and I have a feeling that we're gonna need another tray because these are a lot of tomatoes. You guys saw the seeds. The seeds are really small, they're really tiny, but it's a lot. So y'all, don't be like me and use the entire seed packet. It is not necessary. Tomatoes grow. They want to live. They're very resilient, so they're gonna grow. So you want to be careful too, so you don't drop the seeds in any of your other seedlings tray, because they will actually grow and they are gonna take over. Y'all saw the tomato disaster I had last year when I had tomatoes growing almost in every raised bed, grow bag, etc. Now we're just gonna water the top a little bit, and then we're gonna put the dome on top and then set it where it belongs. We will be using some of the banana water. I have some in here, and then we're just going to spray some over the soil like that. And this is really light because remember, the soil is already a little moist from the water that we put in there earlier. So after the seeds germinate, I'm going to be watering the plants from the bottom. And then we're going to cover it up. There you have it, y'all. Our tomatoes are ready. Now we have a ton more to go, so let's go ahead and finish it up so we can get up out of here. Y'all, I am all done. Oh my goodness, we got all our tomatoes. And as you guys seen, I put a ton of seeds in each cell tray. I do not advise that. If you do not know how to separate the seedlings, when it's time to uppot them, I'm gonna separate them. So that's why I did that, and I just wanted to maximize on the space. Plus, I'm probably gonna get rid of some of them, but we'll see. Yes, guys, that is how you sow your tomato seeds to get a beautiful germination and a strong and healthy plant. So I am going to find some space under there, and that's where I'm going to have it germinate under that light so that it can give it some heat for it to germinate properly. And there you have it, y'all. We are all done. We just sowed 9 different tomato seeds. I am super excited. I am so excited about how it's going to turn out. You guys are going to go through the entire process with me, so do not worry. Once these germinate, I'll let you guys know how long it took to germinate. Typically, it's when you do this germination process that I am doing right now, it typically takes about 7 days or less for the seeds to start to germinate. And once the seeds start to germinate, once you start to see like a little poking of the seed through the soil, it doesn't have to be all the way up, but once you see that it's trying to poke out, you want to go ahead and remove the dome covers that's covering them right now so that the plant can have enough air so that it can grow. Because once it starts poking out, that means that the seedlings are about to come up and it needs air. It needs some wind, it needs the light, it needs the heat, it needs all of that. But you do not want the dome cover over it, because what that is doing is cooking the plants, and we're not trying to do that. So once you start seeing the seeds pop up and you see it poking through the soil, just go ahead and remove the dome covers. But all right, y'all, that's it right there. Very straight, very easy, straight to the point. Let me know in the comments if you guys plan on doing your germination this way, if you guys plan on starting your tomato seeds the way I did. Remember, this method that we used to start the seeds, you can use the same exact method for all of your seedlings, like the germination process, how to speed it up, and then how to sow it into the seeds trays. But all right, guys, thank you so much for being on here with me today. Remember, you can find all of these supplies in my Amazon store. You can also find it in the department store, but if you are looking for convenience, I have all of it linked in my Amazon store. Some of it may not be the exact brand, but it's pretty much the same thing, like the seed starting soil, the worm castings, and things like that, as well as the seed cell trays. I have a bunch of different options for you guys to decide what works best for you in your growing method. Also, guys, please don't forget to like the video if you haven't liked it yet, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you have not subscribed. I really appreciate all of the love. Thank you guys so much for supporting all of my videos. I've been seeing all the love that you guys have been leaving, all the comments. Continue to comment down below if you have any questions, if you have any comments. I will be going live weekly, so if you guys have any questions, I will be getting those questions from under the videos, compiling them to answer them on my lives, and I will always let you guys know when I go live, because I will post it on the YouTube community post. So if you guys go to my community posting, y'all will see live updates of whatever is going on in the channel. So when I'm going live, I will be posting it there, and I'll be answering a lot of your questions, as well as come and have a garden chat with me as I get some work done in the garden or around the house. So all right, guys, thank you guys so much for being here. I'm so glad. I don't even know if I'm whispering right now because it's late and everybody in the house is asleep. I'm so tired, but I am actually, after I let you guys go, I am actually about to sow those pepper seeds, the habaneros. Woosah. Okay, I gotta woosah, because those have been a struggle. I'm not gonna film a video doing those because I already shown you guys how to sow your pepper seeds and how to speed up the germination. So I would just give you guys an update on how they germinated and if they germinated, like, you know, the past ones didn't. But okay, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next video, and I hope you enjoyed the video today. I hope you learned something. I hope you're going to grow something. Remember, sow something and grow something, okay? You don't have to grow everything, but grow something. I hope you grow something. Also, remember, y'all, I have a gardening group on Facebook called Sow Something, Grow Something, Miss Yancey's Gardening Network. please go ahead and join the gardening group. I would love to see the progress of your plants as well. And that is also like a direct way to get in contact with me. I post almost daily or every other day on there just to give you guys like an update of what my seedlings look like, progress and things like that. And I also want to see yours. I want you guys to tell me about your gardening experience, and if you have questions or advice, if you're an expert or if you know specifically about certain things that we may not know. This is a community and we're all learning from each other. I'm not an expert. I'm just here to provide my knowledge from what I learned in the past in gardening. So hopefully we could all grow together. Okay, we're all gonna sow together and we're all gonna grow together. All right, y'all, I love you guys so much. If you watched till the end, thank you so much. I need you to write MVP in the comments if you watched till the end, because you are the MVP. Thank you for always supporting me. Of course, you know, if you haven't gotten your seeds yet, go to my Etsy store. The link is in the description of this video as well. We are growing our own food, y'all, and I am so proud of you for even trying to grow your own food. I am so proud of us for even attempting to do this, because y'all know the price of groceries is way too high. Okay, all right, y'all, love you guys so much. Have a wonderful day, have a wonderful weekend, have a wonderful week. I hope you enjoy your time in the garden sowing your seeds. Love you guys, and remember, y'all, you're exactly where you're meant to be in this moment. Happy gardening. Bye, y'all. And remember, y'all, if you're looking for organic heirloom seeds, go ahead in the description of this video and grab your pack of seeds in my Etsy store and get your garden popping. Bye, y'all. Happy gardening. Signature luxurious body butter is packed with all natural skin-loving ingredients such as cocoa butter, coconut oil, shea butter, vitamin E oil, and baobab oil. Whipped to perfection, it is lightly made to be easily absorbed into the skin without clogging your pores. This body butter is free of parabens, sulfates, and synthetic fragrances. Your new bestie.